Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a predictions video for the iPad Mini. Yes, the date is almost finally here. October 23rd, 2012 is the date we'll see the iPad Mini announced. Now, the reason why I'm saying iPad Mini is because we've seen a lot of leaks over the past couple of weeks to suggest that that is what Apple were going to call it. Now, initially, I thought that Apple would call it the iPod Nano. iPod Nano? What am I saying? The iPad Nano, just because they've kind of got that Nano name trademarked and stuff, and it'd be stupid to call something a Mini, but they are going to call it a Mini. A German electronics retailer earlier this week leaked a document that states all the capacities and variants of the iPad Mini. I'm just going to read through a couple now to give you an idea. An 8GB iPad Mini, a 16GB iPad Mini, a 32GB iPad Mini, and all of them will be available in white or black and in Wi-Fi. Now, interestingly, at the bottom of the list there was an iPad Mini 64GB cellular. So could we see a 4G iPad Mini? Well, if the spec sheet is to be believed, that is the case, but the cellular or possibly even 4G version will only be available in 64GB, which is quite interesting. I think that Apple are obviously making that a very high-end iPad Mini, and a lot of people have been reporting the fact that the iPad Mini is going to start for less what the iPod Touch is. Now, the range I think the iPad Mini is going to start at is in between the £200 and £250 mark. For you guys in the United States, it would be around the $250 mark to the $300 mark. Now, that is just a quick currency conversion. It won't be roughly that, but it depends how Apple are going to price it for you. I think it'll be interesting to see if it's priced at the same price as the iPod Touch. Obviously, if it is, then I'm kind of thinking, will the iPad Mini eventually kill off the iPod Touch? We don't know, we'll have to see. Now let's talk about the specs. I think the iPad Mini could feature a 3 megapixel or a 5 megapixel camera. I'm going to say about 3 or 2 megapixels at the moment, because I'm not confident they'd put a potentially 8 megapixel camera in an iPad Mini just based upon cost. I also don't think they'll put a Retina display in there. Now, I might be wrong with that. I might be completely off with that, but the Retina display is obviously a large chunk of the cost of making an iPad or even an iPad Mini. So if Apple are going to price it at the £250 to £200 mark, is that physically possible for them to do that and make a decent amount of profit on it? A lot of other companies such as Google and Amazon have just not have come out this week and said that they're not making hardly any profit on any of their 7-inch tablets. So that is something to consider. Now, the finish of the actual iPad Mini, I've seen on a box comparison, the white and the black iPad Mini box. I'm going to put it on screen now so you can see. Yeah, look at that. It looks similar to how the iPhone 5 box was done. So I think this clearly leads to what we had with the iPhone 5, where you can have a white front and a silver magnesium back, and then like a black front of the iPad, black glass, and then a slate back for that. Now, there's a lot of umming and ahhing and questioning around the actual resolution of the display. I think it could be something similar to what we saw in the first generation iPad, really. I'm not too sure of the numbers with that, really. I think what we are most likely to see, though, is an iPad Mini with Siri, a 3+ megapixel camera, a decent sized resolution display. Don't expect anything dramatic. I think if anything we'll get what was originally in the original iPad, and it won't be as thin, I don't think, as the current iPad, just based upon cost. Obviously, as you make everything thinner, it costs more. And the other thing I think a lot of people haven't mentioned is what processor they're going to put in there. Now, I personally think they might recycle an older processor such as the A5 chip or maybe the A5X chip, but I'm kind of thinking they'll put either one of the older iPhone processors, you know what was in the iPhone 4, the A4 chip or the A5 chip, to power the graphics and the display. Battery life, well, considering it's a smaller device, I think we could see up to about 6 to 7 hours continuous video playback on that. Obviously, if they do add in a 4G version, we'll see that drop to around about 5 hours. I'd be quite interested to see what the overall pricing structure of all the iPads are. Like I said before, 250 to 200 pounds. The Sky News is quoted, they said it might start at. And the highest iPad that was quoted to be made, the 64GB version, is going to be around the £600 mark, obviously $650 if you're in the United States. So there's a lot of information there to take in. Just absorb it for a second and tell me what you think in the comments below. What do you think we'll see in the iPad mini? I've obviously expressed my opinion on this. I think if all the rumours are true about the iPad mini and all the specs are matching up to what is in the actual iPad 3 now, we could see a potential killing or termination of the iPod Touch eventually, because obviously if they're priced the same, people are going to opt for the one with the bigger display, as we've seen with the Samsung Galaxy Note over the past year. Well, that has been my thoughts and predictions on the iPad mini. If you have enjoyed this video, it'd be really great if you could give it a thumbs up, as that helps me out. Like I said, if you want to leave a comment in the comments below, tell me what you think about the iPad mini. What do you think we're going to see in it? That'd be good too. And if you are not on Twitter, then don't listen to this bit. But if you are on Twitter, please go and give me a follow in the link below, and maybe even just send me a tweet, say that you enjoyed the video, or you know, you agree with me or something. I don't know. Follow me in the link in the description below on Twitter, and thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.